So what does it take to start your own micro-distillery and make your own whiskey? For the team at Stranahan's Whiskey in Denver, Colorado, it took some cash. $500,000 in seed money, and also a strong desire to work with their hands.
Here at Stranahan's, we do everything by hand, so we actually hand write the labels, we hand bottle everything.
And it helps to have friends.
Tomorrow we'll do about 25 to 3,000 bottles. We have volunteers come in and help us.
And yes, you have to like whiskey.
So,
salute,
buddy. Man, that's good.
Stranahan's Colorado Whiskey is at the vanguard of a micro-distilling movement that over the last 20 years has seen scores of new distilleries opening across the United States. In part, this is due to relaxed regulation on alcohol production at the state level. States are increasingly turning to distilled spirits to generate much-needed tax revenue. But it's not legal to distill at home, mostly because alcohol is highly flammable and presents a fire hazard.
Well, micro-distilling is growing very rapidly right now, kind of following the same path that the microbrew beers followed. It's a rebellion against the homogenization of America.
So in the midst of so much sameness comes something a little out of the norm, a Rocky Mountain whiskey.
We're the first straight American whiskey to be made of 100% malted barley.
Mashing, pasteurizing, and fermenting all take place next door to Stranahan's at the Flying Dog Brewery.
So you use a lot of the same type of equipment and a lot of the same gear. So it was a good fit to hire a established microbrewery to ferment our recipe. Otherwise, we'd have to purchase all this equipment ourselves.
It only takes one of the brewery's 40 fermenting tanks to satisfy Stranahan's needs.
Here we are, we're hanging on for dear life on fermenting vessel number 4. This is where we're going to add the yeast, and the magic will happen. Each batch is about 3,000 gallons, and so that's what we'll distill over a week's time.
Flying Dog ferments our recipe to our specs and then pipes it over the roof.
The freshly fermented beer, also known as wash, is ready to be distilled in Stranahan's custom-designed still.
They're unique in design in the fact that the bottom part of the still is a pot still. All right, and that's like Scotch. Scotch is generally made in a pot still in a batch. The upper part of the still is a column still. We're using kind of bourbon technology up on top and Scotch technology in the bottom. We were the first people to use this. What we're trying to do is create a spirit that kind of takes on features of both types of distillate.
Each batch of whiskey takes 18 hours to distill.
That's why it's known as a batch process, because we're going to fill up our wash still with 750 gallons of wash. Once we distill out all the alcohol that's in there, we're going to drain it and refill it again.
The barrel filler is ingeniously enough, a modified gas pump.
We're going to take our handy-dandy barrel filler, specific only to Stranahan's Colorado whiskey, and we're going to fill our new American White Oak heavy charred barrel. We fill this up. We're going to roll it back into our warehouse. Our rack house is unique in that we are a heated and humidified facility here. In the wintertime, we're hot in here, and in the summertime, it's Hades in here. It gets to be about 110. So we have the two seasons to help force the whiskey in and out of the wood. So actually, our aging process is a little more rapid than most other distillers use. Right now, we're producing an average of 6 barrels a week.
That's roughly 720 bottles of whiskey a week. But is the whiskey world better off for having a Colorado whiskey? We went back to the Brandy Library in Lower Manhattan to find out.
I'm a little excited about this one because I have yet to even come across it. It's almost orange, eye-catching right off the start. And the fruit pops. And wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive. There's something cinnamon about it, it's spicy and fresh. That is a lovely dram. That is a perfect example of what can be done with just a little bit of ingenuity.
And after all, it seems fitting that Colorado would produce a whiskey.
We didn't have John Wayne walk into a bar in Colorado and say, "Hey, Pard, how about a mango-infused vodka and make it a double?" He went in and he asked for a whiskey. That's what the miners and the cowboys drank.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
Whiskey is, without a doubt, the most complex and diverse spirit being produced on the face of this earth.